In the deepest, most colourful corner of the sparkling blue ocean, there lay a wonderful place called Coral Cove. It was so beautiful there that the sand glittered like fairy dust, and the seaweed swayed gently as if dancing to music. In this happy cove lived a very cute octopus named Ollie. Ollie was a little different from the other fish. Why? Because he had 8 wiggly arms. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Ollie loved his arms very much. Every morning, he would stretch all 8 of them up high and shout, "Good morning, ocean." Ollie's favorite thing to do was play. In the middle of Coral Cove stood a large, flat rock that the sea creatures called the playground. It was always covered with treasures washed in by the tide, seashells, shiny pearls, smooth pebbles, and colourful pieces of coral. These were the ocean's best toys. One sunny morning, Ollie woke up early and swam to the playground. He couldn't wait to see what was there. When he arrived, his eyes widened with delight. The night tide had brought wonderful new things. There was a giant, pink seashell, a piece of smooth, shiny blue sea glass, a round, bouncy sponge ball, and a piece of coral that rattled like a musical instrument when the water moved. Ollie was so excited that he reached out immediately. With his first arm, he grabbed the pink shell. "This is mine," he said. Then he reached out his second arm and took the blue glass. "This is mine too." With his third arm, he took the sponge ball, and with his fourth arm, he snatched the rattling coral. But he didn't stop there. With his fifth arm, he grabbed a long ribbon of seaweed. With his sixth arm, a shiny pebble. With his seventh arm, a toy spoon dropped from an old ship. And with his eighth arm, he picked up a stripy snail shell. Look at that! All 8 of Ollie's arms were full. He looked just like a swimming toy shop. He hugged his treasures tight and grinned. "I can hold them all. I am so lucky to have 8 arms." Just then, Ollie's best friends arrived at the playground. First came Colin the Crab, walking sideways with his orange claws. "Good morning, Ollie." "Wow, look at those toys," Colin chirped cheerfully. Behind him came Starla the Starfish, gliding slowly but always smiling. And finally, Dolly the Dolphin arrived, doing somersaults in the water. "Hello everyone. Let's play tag," she called out. Colin stared in amazement at the shiny blue sea glass in Ollie's arm. "Ollie," said Colin, "may I play with that blue glass? It sparkles so beautifully in the sun." Ollie immediately hid the arm holding the glass behind his back. "No, Colin," he said. "I am holding it. Can't you see?" Starla approached gently. "What about that pink shell? May I listen to the sound of the ocean in it, Ollie?" she asked politely. Ollie pulled the arm holding the pink shell closer to his chest. "No, Starla. That is in my collection now. I want to hold them all." Dolly the Dolphin said, "But Ollie, you have 8 toys. We have none. We could pass that sponge ball to each other. Come on, give us one each, and let's play together." Ollie shook his head vigorously. He hugged his toys tighter. "No, No, no. I have 8 arms and exactly 8 toys. If I give them to you, my arms will be empty. These are all mine. His friends were very sad. Colin clicked his claws unhappily. All right then, Ollie. We shall go and play hide-and-seek instead, he said. Yes, you don't need toys for hide-and-seek, added Starla. Let's go, said Dolly, and the 3 friends swam off towards the seaweed forest. Ollie was left all alone on the big rock. HMPH, he muttered to himself. Let them go. I have my brilliant toys. I can have fun by myself. Ollie tried to play. He threw the pink shell up with his first arm. But he couldn't catch it because all his other arms were full. The shell bonked him on the head. Ouch, cried Ollie. Then he tried to bounce the sponge ball. He hit it against the rock, and it bounced away. Ollie couldn't swim to catch it because he was afraid of dropping the other toys. The ball floated away with the current. He shook the rattling coral. Shake, shake, shake. The sound was nice, but there was no one to make music with him. If Colin were here, he would tap a rhythm with his claws. But Colin was gone. He looked at the blue glass. Yes, it was shiny, but if Dolly were here, she would balance it on her nose and make Ollie laugh. Now, it was just a cold piece of glass. Minutes passed, then hours. Ollie's arms began to ache. Holding toys wasn't as easy as he thought. His arms felt heavy. But his heart felt even heavier. He was bored. He was tired of looking at toys. It was too quiet. Just the sound of his own breathing and the distant whoosh of the waves. Just then, the oldest and wisest resident of Coral Cove, Grandpa Tobias the turtle, swam by. Tobias was so old that he had tiny patches of moss growing on his shell. He saw Ollie sitting there, looking miserable. Tobias swam slowly up to him. Hello, young Ollie, he said in his deep, calm voice. My goodness, your arms are full. You seem to have all the treasures of the ocean. Ollie sighed. Yes, Grandpa Tobias. I took them all. But... He paused. But I'm not having any fun. My arms are tired, and I feel very lonely. Tobias smiled kindly. Do you know, Ollie, he said. Having 8 arms is a wonderful thing for an octopus. But arms aren't just for holding things. Ollie was surprised. What are they for then? Arms, said Tobias, are for reaching out to friends, for helping, and for sharing. If you keep your arms wrapped tight, you cannot catch new happiness. But if you open your arms, well, that is when the fun begins. Ollie looked at the toys in his arms. Then he looked towards the seaweed forest where Colin, Starla, and Dolly were laughing together. They had no toys, yet they were happy. Ollie had all the toys, but he was grumpy. Suddenly, Ollie realized what he had to do. He swam quickly towards his friends. It was hard to swim without dropping the toys, but he didn't give up. Colin! Starla! Dolly! Wait, he shouted. His friends stopped their game and looked at him. What is it, Ollie? asked Colin nervously. Did you come to show off your toys? No, said Ollie. He took a deep breath. First, he stretched out his first arm. He gave the beautiful pink shell to Starla. Starla, put this to your ear. The waves sound lovely, and I wanted you to hear them. Starla's eyes lit up. Really? Thank you, Ollie. Then he stretched out his second arm. He gave the shiny blue glass to Colin. Colin, take this. If you hold it with your claw, you can reflect the sunlight. Colin jumped, ran sideways, with joy. Hurrah! Thank you, Ollie. Then he stretched out his third arm. He threw the bouncy sponge ball, which he had fetched on the way, to Dolly. Dolly, catch! Dolly leapt into the air and bopped the ball with her nose. You are brilliant, Ollie. Ollie didn't stop. He gave the rattle to a little fish, and the colourful pebble to a seahorse. He gave away every single toy in his arms. Finally, Ollie's arms were completely empty. Well, asked Grandpa Tobias, watching from a rock nearby. Now your arms are empty, Ollie. Are you sad? Ollie lifted all his arms up high. He felt so light. He felt like a bird, or a flying fish. No, laughed Ollie. My arms are empty, but look what I can do now. Dolly threw the ball back to Ollie. Ollie caught the ball with one arm, high-fived Colin with another arm, and tickled Starla with yet another. Hey, shouted Ollie happily. Because I have 8 arms, I can play with everyone at the same time. I can catch the ball, I can help Colin, and I can give you all a hug. That day, a game began in Coral Cove like never before. Ollie became the best playmate ever, using all 8 arms. He threw balls, waved ribbons, and tapped out rhythms all at once. Colin, Starla, and Dolly had never had so much fun. But do you know who had the most fun of all? It was Ollie. At the end of the day, as the sun set, everyone was tired but very happy. Ollie waved to wise Grandpa Tobias. You were right, Grandpa Tobias, he said. Sharing doesn't make the toys disappear, it makes the joy grow bigger. When Ollie went to bed that night, he had no toys in his arms. But his heart was full of his friends' love and laughter. And that was more precious than all the seashells in the world. Ollie tucked his 8 arms under his pillow and fell into a peaceful sleep. And everyone in the kingdom of Coral Cove lived happily and generously ever after. The end.